Now, just think of this. This is not capitalism. This is corporate socialism. This is heads you lose, tails I win. This is monopoly guaranteed by the state of Florida. Now, there's more. The nuclear power industry in Washington has stated to the Congress, no nuclear plant they can build anywhere in the country with private financing unless there's 100% U.S. government loan guarantee. That means you. Not 90%, 100%. Now, if that's the way that Floridians want to get their electricity, they're entitled to ask the following question. Why does it have to be guaranteed by Washington? Why does it have to be prepaid by you, the consumer? And why don't you get your money back if their project fails? Answer, you don't have any power. You're political slaves. We're all political slaves. Let's face it. The first step toward abolition is to recognize slavery. We are enslaved by two political parties, the state and national level, who dial for the same corporate dollars, who are beholden to the same corporations, who, when they quit politics, go to work for nice-paying jobs in these same corporations, and who've done the most treasonous thing a political party can do. They have turned over our state and national governments, department by department, to business interests, who they allow to pick their appointees in government. Who's the head of the Secretary? Who's the head of the Department of Treasury? The former head of Goldman Sachs. What is he doing today? He's spending $700 billion of your money to bail out his buddies in Wall Street. Not only department by department, but they allow unfettered campaign funding. There's no public funding of public campaigns, as there should be. And they in effect, put themselves up on an auction block for sale. There are 10,000 political action committees, oil dealer, insurance, banking, auto, copper, zinc, you name it, in Washington, funneling money in that way. Now, last I heard, the original copy of the Declaration of Independence is in Philadelphia. And the original copy of the U.S. Constitution is in Washington. What's left of it? Does Congress declare war anymore? Or does it give its authority unconstitutionally to a messianic militarist in the White House called George W. Bush, who on a platform of lies, deceptions, and cover-ups got us into this Iraq quagmire with untold millions of people dead and injured, including our soldiers. Matt, Gary, can you do something about that? Nobody loves kids more than I do, but they have to be in the right place at the right time when they're trying to have a conversation. Notice, if you will, how little power we have with one question. Apart from your personal lives, is there anything left for you to decide in this country? What's left for you to decide? Half of you have decided not even to vote. You don't think it matters. What's left to decide? Do you side the issues of peace and war? Do they ask you about the Wall Street bailout by having hearings around the country? You know, they got plenty of money for that. They don't have to ram it through that fast, be stampeded by Bush. Do they ask you about the tax system, which is a monstrosity of privilege for the rich and the corporations, big ones now? They get all the services that you pay for here, and then they have a little office in the Bahamas or Bermuda where they escape a lot of federal taxation. That's what's called tax havens. You have any role in that? Do you have any say in our country becoming a humanitarian superpower? We have so much to give to the rest of the world, very inexpensively, against infectious diseases, drinking water, sanitation, all the things that could save millions of lives for pennies per life. Or do they consult us that we want half of our federal government's operating expenditures to be a bloated, wasteful military budget, only to enrich the military-industrial complex that President Eisenhower warned us about in his farewell address in 1960? Do we have any say on that? Do we have any say about how our food is produced and processed and shipped to market, and under what conditions? 90% of the people want genetically engineered foods to be labeled. Monsanto doesn't. Monsanto doesn't have a vote. We have the votes. Who wins? Monsanto. Who loses? We lose. Is that democracy? Do we have much of a say about our healthcare system? Look at the healthcare system. It's a pay or die system. Can't afford the drugs. Can't afford the surgery? Too bad. Nobody trumpets for you when you're gone. Nobody plays taps. 20,000 Americans die every year because they cannot afford health insurance. Nobody dies in Belgium, Luxembourg, Norway, Germany, Italy, Canada, Britain, because they can't afford health insurance. They're insured from the day they're born, along with everyone else. Do we have any role in shaping that? It just so happens that a majority of the people in this country want what is known as single-payer health insurance. They want full Medicare for all. And a recent poll of doctors has the doctors preferring this by 59%, and it's growing. Because doctors want to practice medicine. They don't want to practice bookkeeping. They don't want their hands tied by clerks in some building owned by Aetna that spends 30% of your premium on administrative and executive costs, compared to less than 5% under Medicare. Do we have any say on energy? Here you've got 5 nuclear plants. They've been very costly. One of them shut down a while ago. They don't know for how long. And they're going to build 4 more in the Sunshine State. In the Sunshine State. What would the sun say if it could talk? Florida would say, why are you doing this to yourself? I've blessed you with many days of sunshine. Photovoltaic, solar thermal, and passive solar architecture. Wind power can be brought in from other states on an international grid. Do you know that 4 states can provide all the electricity we are using through wind power, like North Dakota? They just have to build a grid system. Well, look what the alternative is. Oil, gas, coal, nuclear. Do we have any decision there? Well, let's take it closer to home. Let's say you got a complaint with your bank, and you call your bank up. What's the first thing you hear on the line?
Press 1 or 2.
Your business is very important to us. Press 1, press 2, press 3, press 4. So you press 2, and press 1, press 2. And it's just a merry-go-round, right? They don't even have to answer you anymore. Well, let's say you get through to a real human being. And you say, I really resent you charging me $35 for a bounced check. I learned from the Federal Reserve that it only costs you $2, which includes covering check fraud losses. Why are you charging $35? Well, that's the policy, ma'am. That's the bank policy. You mean it's a profit center, isn't it? Well, I wouldn't go so far as say that. We call it a service charge. And you keep arguing, and then you go up to the manager level. And suddenly the manager said, you know, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to affect your credit score. And you're going to damage your credit rating. Now, how many times a day do auto dealers, insurance agents, banks, you name it, snuff out complaints with those 2 responses? Because they're real. They got you by the neck. They control your money. If you are part of the credit and debit economy, you've lost control of your money. They can charge you anything they want, debit you, and you can spend 15 hours and you wouldn't get it back. And if you did get it back, you would say, well, I don't want to spend another 15 hours. It's not worth my trouble. How many people here do not have credit cards?